Hi, hello, welcome to part 2 of this week if you have come along from part 1, and also hello if you're just stopping in to watch. On part 2 I'll be telling you all about my topic of the week, which is my relationship with school, the school system, work, and why I want to be my own boss, and where I found in my schooling that sort of resonated, like when I figured it out. I also give you my quote of the week at the start, and then I will set 3 goals for my upcoming week. Yeah, so hope you enjoy this one. I posted this on my Instagram yesterday, so if you saw that, you would have seen it along with like 4 or 5 other quotes, I think. It was, if someone followed you around for a week, would they believe that you're committed to your goals? And I sat there and I went, damn, that's a good one. That's a good one. Maybe not a quote, maybe it's just like a good food for thought kind of question. Yeah, so I'm gonna answer that one with you guys. If someone was following me around for a week, would they think that I'm committed to my goals? I think maybe and maybe not. There are times where I think that if a person will follow me around, they'd go 100%, this girl's got it in the bag. She drops the phone now and again, but she always pulls herself up. I feel like that's like the biggest takeaway from this question, is that would be my like answer if it was short. If there was a long answer, I feel like someone might be a bit uncertain and be like, does this girl actually want to save money, or is she just spending it here, there, and everywhere? Who knows? Again, if anyone watched my video and the last video, you would have seen me talk about my reflections of like the past year, and me from a year ago is so different. And if the person following me around knew how far I'd come a month ago, 2 months ago, 10 months ago, 12 months ago, they would be 100%, this girl has got it in the bag. She's doing life and she is chasing her goals and she's doing this. If someone hasn't seen that, maybe they'd be like, nah, she's a little inconsistent. But also, again, compare me to the average person, I'm chasing my goals, I'm out there. I hit the gym this week, as some of you may know, completely sick. Really good intensity compared to some weeks, not as much as I hope to be doing from here on out, because I'll be training for Hyrox, and a half marathon. But yeah, no, I feel like overall, yeah, but it's a great question to have, because I feel like it would kind of stop me in my tracks and be like, would someone question me for doing this? Would someone question me? Be like, babe, this isn't adding up. So yeah, I feel like it's a nice little food for thought thing. So yeah, what about you? What about you? Would someone think that you're committed to your goals if they followed you around for a week? Reflect, let me know. I'd love to know. Don't make me feel bad. Okay, so we're gonna get stuck into the topic now. Gonna run through basically my entire schooling journey. Like, this is gonna be a long story, but trust me, it's entertaining, because I was a brat of a child, both at school, at work, at home. So it's gonna be fun. By child, I mean teenager. I was a blessing of a child until I hit about grade 9, 10ish. I'm gonna talk about what I was like at home, and then talk about what I'm like in my current job, and basically how all of these environments led me to make the decision that I want to be my own boss one day. So, school, basically from prep to grade 10, loved school. It was great, good environment, maybe even grade 9. It was really good. I loved it. I didn't really have anything bad to say about it. The only thing that I would say that I wish changed about school, or the schooling system, was that I don't think the day should have been as long, less homework. I wish we had to learn more things that would have been beneficial for like life and living it, rather than all of this bullshit. I also wish that if we knew what we wanted to do at a younger age, that we should be able to just like propel into those subjects. Like for me, I felt after grade 9 or grade 10, like learning about history, like I slept through all my classes. I've got no idea what the fuck happened. I have no idea. Like even my ones in junior high, like I didn't pay attention. I didn't give a fuck. Especially when it got to like grade 11 and 12, I thought it was just ridiculous that we had to pick 6 subjects. Like, for me, the course I wanted to go through in university only required, I think it was like 3 or 4 prerequisites, and I said to them, I was like, why can't I just do the 3 or 4 prereqs? Why do I have to do other subjects and just add this extra workload to me that I don't need? Like, that's ridiculous. And then I looked into starting university early. Like, if you knew what degree you wanted, could you just go do a bridging course specific to that degree for 6 months and then start university a year and a half early? Like, why can't you do that? And then they're like, oh, you have to be 17 to enter into university. And I'm like, why am I wasting 2 years of my life studying this shit? I just thought it was ridiculous. I also emailed the education minister because I did online schooling in, I think, the start of grade 11 and to grade 10. I was basically at home learning for about 3 months. It was the best time of my life. I loved it. I literally jumped on for 8 hours on a Monday. I checked in at 8:30, stayed in my pajamas. I got to eat whatever the fuck I wanted at home, didn't have to pack anything, didn't have to make my way to and from school. I just stayed at home. I jumped on for 8 hours, did all my work. I did 4 hours on Tuesday and had the rest of the week off. That was literally my school. And I was like, why is this so easy? Literally why? And you could jump on and you could do classes if you wanted to that were like live scheduled, but most of the teachers recorded them. So you just fast forward, you put it on like a ×2, you listen to all of it, you do the work, it's done. So you're getting your classes done like twice as fast. And actually the classes went for shorter. So instead of having like an hour and 10 class, the recordings were only like half an hour because the teacher wasn't getting interrupted or having questions asked with them. And then you times that on a 1.5 or a ×2, you got it done in like 20 minutes, 15 minutes. Classwork done. Do you know how much time that saved me? I loved it. I was living the life. And I emailed the education minister and I was like, hey, Pookie Babe, this is my idea. Why not just have like online classes for grades 11 and 12 and they're shared across all of Queensland because the entire curriculum's the same for your classes. And I was struggling with my maths teacher. I actually failed my maths class in grade 12 and I was struggling so hard because I just didn't understand this teacher. And I was like, I wish that I had access to other teachers and I could learn from them, because this teacher is benefiting about 4 out of the 20 students in the class because they understood her, how she like taught, her knowledge, and it was like actually kind of excelling those students, but everyone else was just falling further and further behind and we couldn't pick up anywhere. Like there was no one to help us. So I suggested all these teachers just do a year's worth of work recording their classes and they upload the content to like an online system and they get grouped as like, you know, their different learning styles and teaching styles, and kids can find teachers that they like for different subjects and then they can do all that work. They can do it at school, they can do it at home, and then if they're really struggling, you come in and instead of getting taught at school, you could maybe attend a lecture where a teacher will put on a lecture once a week for about 2 hours and they just stand up there and they teach the whole content if you haven't watched videos. And then you can come in for tutorials where a math teacher or all the math teachers are available at 1 or 2 times throughout the week, and you just go up and ask them questions when you don't understand, because sometimes learning online doesn't work, so having the access to school and to teachers is beneficial. But I feel like having most of that online also works. Saves so much of your time and energy too. Especially as a girl, especially as a teenager, you need a lot of sleep. Like, you're exhausted. And those last 2 years, as much as I did not care about my education, my mental health went through the ground. I think I gained about 15 kilos in those 2 years. It was ridiculous. I was isolated. I hated it all. Like, I argued with teachers. I argued with head of curriculars. I got along with the principal because he agreed with me that the system in Australia should be bettered, like the system in America as well. Like, you have to go and look at European countries and how they're doing education. They're doing it 10 times better than we are. They're getting better results and they're doing less. So clearly our system's flawed, and all I wanted was the education minister to admit that it was flawed. You didn't have to take my system on board, but just admit that it's flawed and that you're working on it. But no, I basically just got a response of, our system's the best, just trust it. And I also asked, I was like, can we take more days off of school for mental health, because there's so many kids suffering? Like, why can we only have sick days when we're physically sick instead of mentally sick? And she's like, mentally sick days would include as truancy, which is illegal. And I was like, are you fucking serious? In this day and age? That's pretty much everything with school. Some of my teachers loved me, some of my teachers hated me. Some of them loved me, but like loved me as a person, didn't like me as a student. And that was completely understandable. I wouldn't have liked me very much either. But fell asleep. I did my own thing in the back of the classroom. With my exams at the end of grade 12, I think one of them I actually tried on. The rest, I sat there for the 45 minutes that you're required to sit there and then walked out. I tried, like, on the exam. Like, I was always working during it. I think my history exam, I finished in half an hour instead of 50 minutes and then walked out with one other person. And I was like, fuck this shit. Like, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. Because I did my diploma in 11 and 12 as well. And that was going to get me to university to do a degree. It wasn't going to get me to do the degree exactly that I wanted at the university that I wanted, but I knew that with the teachers that I had in the subjects that were my prereqs, they weren't going to get me the grades that I needed to be able to get into the universities that I wanted, which were physics and math methods. So both those teachers I really disliked. Basically, physics in grade 11, it was like so easy, really logical. You could pretty much just teach a toddler. I taught my class in that. And then physics grade 12, hard shit. Teacher just basically taught from the textbook, read from that, projected on the screen. I swear to God, he didn't understand what he was saying. Might be wrong, but I did not like him at all. Yeah. I didn't like how he taught. I didn't like how he explained things. I honestly was convinced he had no idea what he was talking about. Which made sense. It was fucking difficult shit. But the point is, I knew that no matter how hard I tried, I was not going to get there unless I literally took myself to my deathbed trying. So I was like, this isn't gonna work. I'm literally just gonna not give a fuck, because who gives a fuck? And I was like, my diploma, like my ATAR's only valid for 2 years anyways, so who gives a shit? So I was like, my diploma's gonna get me an automatic 83 or 84 or whatever. I'll get into USC because they take that, or Griffith, which I did. I eventually got into Griffith doing engineering. Yeah, and I didn't look at my ATAR for 3 years. I saw it because it just popped up on like this thing that I was looking at when I was on QTAC. It just popped up and I was like, oh, you know, I'm pretty sure that's actually what I thought I was gonna get. And it was really bad. You know what? I'll tell you. I got an ATAR of 48 out of 99.99. I got a 48. Do I care? Not really, because honestly it could have been worse. The fact that I walked out of nearly every single exam, like, at that 45-minute mark, that's not too bad. But yeah, I did not see that when they came out, and everyone kept messaging me being like, oh my god, what was your ATAR? And I was like, I don't know and I don't care. Automatic 83, babe. Automatic 83 because my diploma. I'm so glad I did that. Honestly wish that I had just done certificates the entire time, because I'm doing my Cert 3 in fitness now. I wish I had done that in high school because I could be a PT already. So university, I got into Griffith engineering. I started that and I dropped out before the census date. Because before I started university, so end of grade 12, pretty much as soon as I graduated, I started working in an engineering firm. I worked in an office doing some drafting and paperwork, working under engineers, being like the second-hand man. They call me like an engineer cadet. It's basically my title, because I also didn't have the certificate in drafting, so anything that I drafted got checked by an actual drafter. I interviewed with them. I had a really fun time. It was pretty good. I liked the office, I liked the people, it was nice, but I hated actually working in it. Just an office. Sitting down for that long, that quiet, was not a vibe. Didn't enjoy it. Will never, ever do that. Ever. The only way that I could probably work in an office is if it's my office, and it'll be fun as fuck. Like, it'll not be sitting down constantly. It'll be standing up desk, it'll be lots of collaborative work. You won't really have like an office unless you literally have to sit down all day, but everyone will just be up and collaborating. It'll be like a library, you know, but not quiet. Then I went to Griffith for about a month. Campus was nice. And I won an engineering competition in my group. It was really fun, actually. I'll tell you about it. I had to build like a pasta tower, and all we got was like fettuccine pasta and hot glue, and they were like, this is all you get. You have to glue it to the, like, in between these two little pillars. They can't go outside of this like little circle, you know, so it has to be a certain width. Pretty much as tall as you can get it. Well, it wasn't like as tall as you can get it, but it was just like build a tower pretty much, and it had to be a certain height. It had to get to a certain height, and then it got crushed with this machine, and whoever could withstand the most force won. Basically, I had 4 people in my group, and they were all like, okay, we're gonna design it like this, and I was like, yes, agree. And then this one guy was like, oh, we need to do it this way. And then there was like another guy that kind of agreed with him, and I'm like, you're wrong. And they were like, what do you mean? And I'm like, you're literally wrong. Like, I think it was like they wanted to put braces in like this, like they wanted to do a brace like that and then like that, and I'm like, that's not, no, it's not gonna work like that. I was like, you're not, like, I was like, you have to have the bracing like this, because then that's gonna hit on that one. Like, I was like, that makes sense. You need to have the braces go up. Like, I think that's what we were arguing about. We sat there and argued for about half an hour, and I was like, guys, we literally could have had this finished by now because you were on a time limit, and we spent most of our time arguing about this. And I was telling him, I was like, if I thought that I was wrong, if I thought there was a 1% chance that I was wrong and you were right, I'd hear you out. But I'm telling you, you're wrong. And I was fully arguing with this man, and I was like, I hate people. Like, I can't, I should have just done this all by myself. I would have been better off by myself here. So we finally, he cracked the shits, and he was like, fine, just do it your way, like, I don't care. And I'm like, good. So we're all like trying to finish this fucking tower, burning our fingers with this hot glue, and there was this little part that we couldn't quite finish, and the timer went off, and I was like, that's gonna kill us. I was like, that little part right there, that's gonna kill us. Put it in the force thing, ours wins. And that little part, that was our weak spot. It could have held more, but it won because I was right. And then a couple weeks after that, I dropped out. And I was like, this is not for me. Peace out, motherfuckers. It was also just really difficult to drive all the way to Griffith, and their website was confusing as fuck. I don't know, I just can't do school. I just can't do it. Anyways, after I left Griffith, I then went and applied to be a secondary teacher because, you know, my passions for the education system. I really enjoyed that. I just found that, again, I can't do university. So I made it through a semester and I dropped a course. So instead of doing 4 full-time, I did like full-time, part-time. So I did 3 courses and I made it through fine with those. Not amazing, but fine. I then started, I think one of them I accidentally did, and then I did a second semester actually, and then I did 2 courses, and one of them was a 4th year course. I don't know how that happened, but it happened. I did a 4th year course. It let me enroll because I had no prereqs, and it was about educational psychology, and I got a high distinction. And I've never had a high distinction ever in my life, unless it was like math in junior high school. So I was like, wow, this is insane. I'm really happy with this. All through like university, whenever I did course or an assignment, whatever, I always got like a credit. I think maybe like a credit, high credit, and a pass. Like, they were the grades that I got. I never got distinctions, high distinctions. It wasn't a thing for me. Like, no, not gonna happen. But I got high distinction, and I was like so impressed with myself. I got it. I think I got like 3 high distinctions and a distinction on my grades. And the one that really pushed me over the edge, where I got nearly perfect marks, was I got to pick in a group 2 topics that we wanted to present on, and it was 4 of us. I picked both topics I wanted to present on, and they were basically about motivation and like self-discipline and like finding that within yourself. And we had to do like we had to teach the class essentially. Me who loves teaching, me who loves discipline. It was great. I had so much fun. It was amazing. Loved it. Teacher loved me. So yeah, it was really fun. And then I did another course I did another semester the next year, made it through, dropped out before the census date again because I couldn't do it. And I was like, you know what, this sucks. And I think it was because I couldn't do the math and the chem subjects because, you know, I wasn't up to date with them because I couldn't do them in high school. So I loved the education subjects. Honestly, could have passed those with flying colors, and if there was just like a bachelor in education, I would do that and be a high school teacher teaching fuck knows what, because I wouldn't be qualified in anything. But yeah, I couldn't do the chem and the math. So like, I could be a teacher, I just don't have anything to teach. Funny that. So I dropped. And I was like, what am I gonna do? And I was like, well, educational psychology, you got high distinctions, be a psychologist. Looked into that, applied for that, got in at, I think QUT accepted me. So I was like, oh, there you go, how exciting. And my best friend's studying law at QUT this year. So I was like, that's so cute, we can go together. Just before I think it was like just before they accepted me, I decided I wasn't going to university. I reflected and went, I enjoyed education, I couldn't do university. I couldn't do the whole going to the classes, sitting there, I'd get so tired, I hated it. So I just reflected and realized that it wasn't for me. So I decided to be a PT because I just started my fitness journey that year as well. I was losing weight. So that was my thing. I was like, yeah, well, I'm gonna be a PT. And that was the start of this year. I think 6th of January I decided. I wrote it down in my notes. 6th of January is the day that I decided that I wasn't gonna go to university. So yeah, I think if I was gonna go, I'd be like a sports nutritionist. Study like sport and nutrition science. But again, that's science. Maybe I wouldn't be able to do that. I don't know, because the thing is, it's like I'm smart, but I have to be interested in it, and I have to have the energy to put into it. So if I'm like, you know, working full time and doing all this other stuff, like I don't have the time to put into the study, like I'm not going to, because I'm too exhausted. So yeah, that's university. And I'm going to touch on a bit of work. So pretty much at work, I feel like I just want to skim over this a little bit because it's not too interesting. Most of my supervisors and managers, they'd always sort of like leave me in charge. I'd always talk back to them, tell them what's what. So many of my ideas got put into place. Like, I'm a very logical thinker. Like, a drawback about me is I suck with emotions. Like, my own are fine, like, because I'm very logical. Like, I look at it and go, I shouldn't be feeling this way because it doesn't make sense to. Like, I can sit in my feelings and I can process them, but like I don't get that sad that often, you know. It's really like self-pity is what I feel the most. But yeah, no, I'm a very logical person, so that plays in part really well when it comes to working somewhere, like especially hospitality. Like, I literally look at a situation and know, okay, this is what we need to do to fix it, or this is how we can do to make it better. And usually my ideas would be better than my supervisors and managers. Sometimes I was wrong because I would miss something, or my point was valid and right, but there was something I didn't know, so that got fixed, if that makes sense. But that happened so much through my 15, 16, 17, 18 year old like life. Then moved into an office briefly, didn't like that either. Yeah, so working in hospital was actually kind of fun. Enjoyed that. As I said, like, most of my ideas got pushed forward and implemented, and I always was getting promoted. Had promotions lined up for when I turned 18. Now I'm working in a restaurant in the airport. Love that place too, and very similar. Like, I'm very bossy and attitudey, and I'm currently in the mindset of I don't want to work for anyone, like, at all. Like, I don't want to be there. Like, I have other goals and aspirations and things that I want to work towards, so working at this place feels like it's wasting my time. So actually, like, in a really bad mood, and like customers, for example, they're like, they know that I'm rude. Like, if you're gonna be nice to me, I'm gonna be nice to you back because I'm a nice person, but I'm not gonna stand there and tolerate you being rude just because I'm getting paid to do so. Like, I'm not doing that. Like, you're gonna be rude to me, I'm gonna be rude back. So I know that there could definitely be some hefty bad reviews about me on that website, but I'm really good at my job. I'm really good at my job, and if you're gonna be nice to me, if you're gonna be funny with me, like, that's fine. Like, we can have a good old joke, and I'm gonna be nice back. But I'm here to get a job done, okay? You're here to place an order, I'm here to put it through. That's kind of how I see it. Which I know isn't right, and I know that's not what most restaurants would want, but I'm literally getting paid minimum wage. Basically, same thing kind of happened at home. My relationship with my mother, both my parents actually, like, I always sort of like told them how I thought they should be parenting, which not a lot of parents like. My parents didn't like it very much either. For example, like, I still do it. It's like, I know what's what, I know what's right, I know how they should be doing things and how they shouldn't be doing things, what they should and shouldn't be saying, how they should be like treating their bodies and all that sort of stuff, and they never really liked it. My mom, we just clash in a lot of areas, like when it comes to home organization and cleanliness and when things should and shouldn't be done, and she's kind of like a soldier around that house, and I'm the exact same, except I'm a soldier about different things, so we clashed. Whereas my dad, he just didn't like anyone telling him that he was wrong, so that's where we clashed. yeah, like there was one thing, my brother, he wanted to drop out of school in grade 10 and go start his trade, and my parents were like, no, 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 you have to stay in school till you graduate. And I was like, why? You're just gonna waste 2 years of his life. So he would have graduated last year, and he said he got a bit of FOMO from that, but I said to him, I was like, but it's not worth the 2 years you would have gone through. Like, he's now 2 years into a course that some of his schoolmates are now only just starting, so he's gonna be 2 years ahead, because he knows that this is what he wants to do for the rest of his life, and he's just going to progress and add on certifications and experience in different areas, like go and work in the mines and all that stuff. So he's just like 2 years ahead, pretty much. Like, he didn't waste the 2 years at school, because he hated it. His whole of grade 10, he hated it. So I just said to him, I was like, sign him out, tell him he doesn't have to do it. Like, why? What's the point? Like, what is he going to gain? A QC? For what? Literally nothing. He's not going to uni, and if he is, he can still go later on in life. They're not going to be like, no, because you didn't graduate high school. You just do a bridging course. Like, it's not the end of the world. And yeah, so that's kind of my views on education and all that. So you can sort of just see, like, through my home life, my school life, my work life, pretty much everywhere, like, I'm the one who wants to be in charge. Even that example of when I was in university, I took charge. Like, I knew what was what. If there's something that I don't know, I'm gonna sit there, shut up, and I'm gonna listen. I'm not gonna go and like march in and be like, I know what's what, and make myself look like an idiot. Like, that's ridiculous. But if I do know what's what, I'm gonna stand up and I'm gonna say something, because it needs to be correct. But yeah, so that's sort of it. I kind of always knew that I wanted to be my own boss as well, like subconsciously, like even while I was going through my university degrees, trying to decide which one I wanted. Like, I tried to dabble in dropshipping. Kind of glad I didn't. I feel like it seems like kind of a scam at the moment. Everyone at work's always told me like, oh, you should, you know, start your own cafe or your own restaurant, because you always like know exactly what should happen here. Like I can literally look around the restaurant and be like, okay, this needs to happen here. It's gonna be like more aesthetically pleasing, it's going to create more space, this should happen here, these things need to be updated, these things need to be cleaned, this should be over there, this should be over there. This is how I would restructure all of it. I've told so many people what I would do to the restaurant to make it like look better and be more functional, and they were like, yeah, that makes sense, you should start your own, like you're so smart, like do that. But anyways, I'm just little old me, what do I know, little 20-year-old me. Yeah, so now my plan is to start my own online coaching business, and so many people have been like, oh, but like, what do you want to do, like face-to-face first? I'm like, I want to do group coaching, but like, and I will do one-on-one as well, like face-to-face, but my plan is to do online coaching, and I want to get there as fast as I can. And I will do online coaching, and I'll also do group coaching, and the group coaching I'm honestly just going to do for me, to like extend my knowledge. Like, I'm gonna be working with lots of people with lots of different abilities, so I want to do like Pilates and reformer Pilates, like maybe some yoga, things like that. I want to teach that. That would be so much fun, because I love reformer. It's so good. Yeah, it keeps things tight and in place and stretched out. It's good, and I want to help people be the best versions of themselves, and I feel like it's a great way to meet people as well. Yeah, but the thing is, I want to build an online community. I want to have a community of people that I coach. I want to have a community of people that I just connect with, and yeah, so that's my plan. And it's all gonna be me. None of it's gonna be someone telling me what to do. It's all gonna be me and organizing my own time. So if you have any questions about that, or like if you have questions about like finding what you want to do in life, because there's been a few people that I've helped with that, and if I honestly had just sat down with myself and really face the facts sooner that I can't do university, then maybe I'd be a bit more ahead. If I had have faced the facts in grade 10 that I should have been doing certificates instead of ATAR, because I was just had it breathed down my throat that everyone does ATAR if they want to go to university, which I didn't have to do. I literally could have just done my diploma and a few certificates and I still would have gotten in. And been more qualified and better off, but whatever, it is what it is. And have this disgusting ATAR hanging over my head. I don't know if anyone has like any questions, you want to reach out to a counselor. But I have helped a lot of people find their like purpose in life, their passion in life, and turning your passion into a career, finding the best way to do that. That's how I figured everything out. That's how my life sort of played out. I always thought that everyone was so similar to me as well with thinking and like thought process and the whole logical thing, but no, there's actually people that don't have that logical side in them, and it's not bad. Like, some people are just more emotionally wired. My thing is that I can like see what people going through, and I can be like, wow, that really sucks, and then I can give them coaching tips on like how to better their mindset. I want to be a qualified mindset coach as well. I also want to be a qualified life coach, women's coach, fitness coach, nutritionist one day, but that's a big one. So yeah, the mindset coach is a big one because I love looking, like, I do it to myself. Like, I feel like it's so much easier for me to get myself out of bad mindsets because, again, I don't have that emotional side as much as I have the logical side. My 3 goals for this week, 1 is up my water take, 2 is not spend as much unnecessarily, especially on takeout, and stick to my meal plan as much as possible. 3 is get this sickness gone, I'd say, and more sleep. Like, I want to say it training intensity, but I can't. It needs to be my sleep and recovery from this sickness. Like, if this is not gone by this time next week, I'm gonna cry. It's ridiculous. I honestly want it gone by Sunday, so fresh new week, I start, no sickness, and I can really focus on my training plan and up that intensity like crazy. That's a plan, that's a goal. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you got something away from it. It wasn't really a teaching thing, it was more just like a personal, this is me, this is my life, and what I went through. But if you can relate to it in any way, like, I hope it helps, and if it not, I hope it gives you a different perspective on something. Yeah, stay safe, see you next week.